Hello again, it's story time again. What we're going to do to start with, we're going to sing a little song which has got animal noises in it. Because I like doing animal noises. Do you like doing animal noises? Right. Old MacDonald's farm. Ready? Old MacDonald had a farm, E-I-E-I-O, and on that farm he had a sheep, E-I-E-I-O, with a meh here and a meh there, here a meh, there a meh, everywhere a meh. Old MacDonald had a farm, E-I-E-I-O. Old MacDonald had a farm, E-I-E-I-O, and on that farm he had a pig, E-I-E-I-O, with a here and a there, here a there, everywhere. Old MacDonald had a farm, E-I-E-I-O. Old MacDonald had a farm, E-I-E-I-O, and on that farm he had a dog, E-I-E-I-O, with a woof woof here and a woof woof there, here a woof, there a woof, everywhere a woof woof. Old MacDonald had a farm, E-I-E-I-O. Last one coming up, shall we have yeah, I know what we'll have. Old MacDonald had a farm, E-I-E-I-O, and on that farm he had a duck, E-I-E-I-O, with a quack quack here and a quack quack there, here a quack, there a quack, everywhere a quack quack. Old MacDonald had a farm, E-I-E-I-O. Wasn't that funny? Right, now we're having a story. Now, got to tell you something first about what it's about. It's about, well, Filey Brigg is the big rock that sticks out into the sea at Filey. And this story is about a fierce dragon that lived on the brig. It's also about some sticky ginger cake called parkin. Now, the story's a little bit scary, so do you want to hear it? You do. You might want to sit on somebody's knee, like Rory's sitting on mine. Just be quiet, sit down. So, shall we have the scary story? It's called The Filey Dragon. Once upon a time, a very long time ago, right at the end of Filey Brigg, there lived a dragon. He was green and blue and brown and purple and very fierce. Do you want to see a picture of him? Oh, isn't he fierce? Are you scared yet? He was so fierce that if any Filey people went right to the end of the brig, he would eat them. So the Filey people never went right to the end of the brig. But one day, the Filey people decided that they were fed up with the dragon eating them and stopping them going right to the end of the brig. So they agreed on a plan. Back in those days, the Filey people used to make a lot of parkin, which I explained to you is a sweet, sticky sort of cake and very tasty to eat. So one morning, very early, even before breakfast, some of the Filey people crept along the rocks going towards the brig. They each carried a huge sack of parkin cake. They crept closer and closer to the dragon until they could hear him snoring. So they knew that he was still asleep. When they got very close, they all hid behind some of the big rocks and waited. Soon the dragon started to wake up. He stretched his wings, waggled his tail, and yawned with his big mouth full of teeth. Remember what he looks like? Oh. The Filey people were very frightened, but one of the bravest stood up and threw a big piece of the parking cake to the dragon, who looked surprised, but caught it in his mouth. He chewed it, went, mmm, mmm. Someone threw another piece, and then another, and soon the dragon was being showered with pieces of parking cake. His mouth was full, and he was trying to chew and swallow to make space for more, when the bravest of the Filey people walked right up to the dragon and offered him a huge piece of parking about the size of the top of a kitchen table. The dragon snatched it in his mouth. Everybody watched while the dragon chewed and chewed and chewed. He couldn't swallow, and his teeth were stuck completely together with the sticky parking. His eyes bulged. He made funny little coughing noises. This was the Filey people's plan. They rushed forward with big sticks and bonked the dragon 3 times on the head. Bonk, 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 bonk. Very hard. He fell over on his back, and they quickly rolled him over and tipped him into the deepest part of the sea around the back of Filey Brigg. He sank right to the bottom, and he's never been seen since. So now you can go all the way to the end of the brig and not be eaten by a dragon. Hooray! That's the end. So it was a little bit scary, but it had a happy ending. And that's the end of story time for today. I'll see you again. Bye!